Welcome back. It is 6:42 here on Daybreak, and if you drive along Elmwood Avenue near the 198 or maybe even hang out near Hoyt Lake, you are well aware of the major construction project happening right now at the Albright Knox.
Or sit on Elmwood Avenue near the 198. Yeah. When it's complete, though, the museum will be comparable to some of the top art institutions in the country and put Buffalo in a whole new category of art cities. Daybreak's Lauren Hall visited the site for a spring construction update.
For decades, the museum known as the Albright Knox Art Gallery was a peaceful, majestic setting to view the finished works of great artists. But these days, it is now an active, noisy environment, and the sculpting is done by people using forklifts and other heavy equipment rather than paint or clay. The museum will now be known as the Buffalo AKG Art Museum, and it will still be an active construction site for another year. So for now, director Yane Seren is politely saying, pardon our dust.
I know that it can be a little bit of a disruption sometime in the early mornings and late afternoons, and I do apologize to our community for that, but I hope that our neighbors understand that sometimes it's necessary to make a little noise in order for something new to be built.
For the first time this year, Seren invited us behind the barriers for a peek at the progress. We started on the massive slab of concrete that will eventually become a free public park.
What we are standing on top of right now is a parking garage. This is the former parking lot, the former surface parking lot. This will be a green lawn, an engineered grass lawn. So you can imagine kids playing here in the summertime, snowball fights in the wintertime.
Now imagine looking down on all that from this view on the third floor of the new Jeffrey Gundlach building. It's named in honor of the man who donated $65 million to make this project possible.
And not many people have seen this yet, right?
Not many people have seen this.
Wow, cool.
With its never-before-seen bird's-eye view of Delaware Park and its vast gallery space, the Gundlach building was built to wow, but not intimidate.
Museums can be somewhat alienating spaces. You know, they look like these grand buildings, and people might get the sense of, well, what's my place and space? What's my role in that building?
The building will be enclosed in glass this summer, a design Seren says is meant to spark a sense of welcome.
So when you're standing on this front lawn and looking into the building, you'll see all the activity in there. And when you're in there, you'll see all the activity that's happening in the city.
But this expansion doesn't stop at the new building and park. Crews are making major updates inside the other buildings on the AK campus, too. With an initial budget of $168 million, it is the largest cultural project of its kind in Western New York history.
Put it in these terms. We used to be a small to medium-sized museum by American standards. We will be one of the larger art museums dedicated to the art of our time in the United States. The size of the new Whitney Museum of American Art in New York City, the size of the Guggenheim in terms of our footprint.
Pandemic-related delays will end up adding $12 to $20 million to the cost and 6 months to the timeline. But when it finally opens next spring...
What's important to the board of directors and to me is that we open to our community first. So it's not one opening day, it's really an opening season, and we want our community to be the first to really celebrate the new museum with us.
So again, construction should be done about a year from now, but then the other part of this project is the ideas part, the new philosophical identity of the museum that you'll eventually see in its programming when you can finally go visit. Seren says again, they are dedicated to making sure the museum reflects the community as a whole, and the work on that will continue long after this construction and building process is complete. Pete and Heather.
Yeah, and the public space that will connect Elmwood Avenue to Delaware Park is exciting as well. What a cool project.
Absolutely. All a seamless community place to go visit.
Beautiful. Thanks very much, Lauren.
Yeah.